Do you know which one ingredient makes marriage to look so great?
When am I supposed to add this?
Feel the power of the new Nokia N-Gage QD from Singular.
What happens when brilliant ideas meet brutal reality? From futuristic gadgets to can't-miss inventions, countless products promised to change the world, but ended up in the trash heap of history. Why did some of the most innovative creations crash and burn? And could any of them have actually worked if launched today? Let's dive into 50 innovative products that have failed miserably. As thinning hair became a source of dread, the mid-90s brought spray-on hair, an aerosol can of powdery fibers designed to cling to sparse follicles.
And ladies with thinning hair or bald spots, GL8 solves the problem
promising instant fullness. Infomercials showcased seamless results under bright lights, yet real-world use revealed chalky streaks and uneven patches, more disguise than transformation. Users reported stained shower curtains and pillowcases, while onlookers struggled to understand if the hair was natural or artificial.
Applying GLH to yourself is so easy. Just spray on, then brush after using the finishing shield, and you're done.
The gimmick's visual appeal evaporated outside studio cameras, and safety concerns over inhaled particles didn't help its case. By decade's end, spray-on hair was mocked on late-night TV and relegated to novelty bins. Up next, a snack giant's fat-free dream would wind up, well, having you dash straight to the bathroom.
My barber told me I'd never grow any more hair. Hey, Emmett, look at me now.
What if you found out that there was a whole other piece of arcade-style tech that had us dancing for hours? Let's find out. Stepping onto that flashing pad felt like entering another dimension. Each arrow lit up in sync with pounding beats, and your heart raced as you matched step to step.
Dance Dance Revolution, the hit Japanese dancing game. Bring the arcade experience to life in your own home with the Dance Dance Revolution dance pads.
When Dance Dance Revolution first hit arcades, players lined up for their turn, ready to prove they had lightning-fast feet. Sweaty palms gripped the rail as neon arrows guided your every move. The more accurate you were, the higher your combo score climbed. It wasn't just a game, it was a social ritual. Friends shouting encouragement, crowds gathering to watch epic fails, and the thrill of nailing a perfect run. Though home consoles later brought DDR pads into living rooms, nothing quite matched the adrenaline of the arcade's thunderous speakers. Even now, a select group of die-hard fans keeps the competitive spirit alive at tournaments. Riding the 90s diet craze, Frito-Lay unveiled Wow Chips in 1998.
So what do you think of it overall?
I love it.
Would you buy some?
Oh, yes.
Swapping fat for Olestra, a molecule too large to digest. The chips tasted nearly identical to Lay's classics and raked in $347 million during their first year. But behind the scenes, Olestra slipped through the digestive tract like an unwelcome laxative, leading to urgent, often public exits. As the bathroom tales spread, sales plunged to $200 million by 2000.
Everything from mesquite barbecue to nacho cheesier.
And regulatory warnings forced labels to flaunt the side effect disclaimer. By 2004, Yao chips vanished or were rebranded as light snacks, a cautionary tale of how a breakthrough can backfire spectacularly. Soon after, coffee lovers faced an even stranger convenience flop, brewed, boxed, and baffling. In the heyday of the aughts, nothing said cool like grabbing a bottle of Sobe, a vibrant concoction of teas, juices, and flavored waters, all sporting that iconic lizard logo. Bright hues glowed behind glass bottles promising exotic flavors that tasted like sunshine in a sip. Convenience store fridges were stocked floor to ceiling, and whenever you cracked the cap, the fruity aroma felt like a mini vacation.
It's pretty damn delicious. Usually I get strawberry first, but I got a nice whiff of banana before I actually had the aftertaste of strawberry, so it's pretty...
But when PepsiCo switched to plastic packaging in 2007, a key piece of Sobe's charm slipped away. Sales dipped, and eventually, the brand vanished from many shelves. These days, hunting down an authentic glass-bottled Sobe feels like a scavenger hunt. Nostalgia in liquid form, if you can find it at all.
So I probably won't buy them because of that.
But as far as the taste, what
Oh,
do you
they
think?
taste just like regular.
In 1999, Maxwell House rolled out a prepackaged chilled brew sold alongside milk in grocery fridges. Yet, instead of sipping chilled Java, consumers were instructed, via a steaming mug icon,
for these. So they do have them, so might as well check out your local store.
to microwave the drink back to hot. The convoluted concept begged the question, why not brew fresh? Shoppers opted for instant packets or traditional pots, leaving cartons of lukewarm coffee to expire.
ADC automatic drip coffee.
ADC's made just for the new coffee makers.
Retailers cleared shelves at steep discounts, and Maxwell quietly pulled the product within a year. The misstep highlighted that convenience must actually simplify, not complicate, everyday routines. Meanwhile, telecom users were still juggling phones on curly cords, until one accessory proposed a Velcro solution that everyone would soon wish had stayed in the box.
Good.
So good, I'll be selling a lot.
Before Bluetooth reigned supreme, the 1990s phone relief headset promised hands-free calls via an ingenious but flawed Velcro system. AOL Instant Messenger, or AM, was launched in 1997, but exploded in popularity during the early 2000s. With its distinctive soundbite, "You've got mail," each login sparked excitement.
You've got mail. You've got pictures.
Creating a sleek username, that perfect mix of cool and cryptic, felt like crafting an online persona. Friends hovered over typing indicators, anxiously waiting for responses that would light up the screen. Away messages evolved into mini blogs, revealing moods with quotes, song lyrics, or mysterious teases. File transfers shared pixelated GIFs and embarrassing selfies. Chat rooms buzzed with inside jokes, planning weekend meetups long before social media created event pages. Yet, as smartphones and social networks rose, AIM's servers grew quiet. By 2017, the service shut down, leaving generations nostalgic for its simple, real-time magic. Now, its legacy lives on in every blue-checked chat bubble you see today.
Hello. I can get that right now. Hold on while I put my ear thing. I'm typing as we speak. I need two hands to type.
Slip the headband over your crown, stick a Velcro patch to your handset, and voila, suspended dialing bliss. In theory, it freed both hands for typing or note-taking. In practice, phones wobbled, headbands slipped, and calls ended with unexpected gravity tests.
Hey man, I just hung up with Jim. I will email you two right now. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Customers lamented the lack of built-in speakers or microphones, negating true hands-free functionality. With wires and Velcro tearing under daily use, the gadget vanished almost as quickly as it arrived. Soon after, kids would discover a crafty art tool that turned playtime into a parent's worst nightmare. The turn of the millennium saw a high-fidelity duel, DVD audio versus SACD. Audiophiles envisioned crystal-clear soundtracks that surpassed CDs, with richer bass, wider sound stages, and immersive surround mixes. Early reviews praised both formats, but casual listeners barely noticed the difference. Specialty players were expensive, and music libraries remained stubbornly on standard CDs, or moving to MP3s and online music stores.
On the DVD audio, they had to transfer it to DSD to produce the SACD. Do they sound any different? I haven't really given it a proper shootout.
Retailers stocked a few titles, but without mass adoption, record labels lost interest. Today, SACDs and DVD audio discs still trickle out for devoted collectors. Still, the format war ended in a draw. Neither format claimed mainstream victory, and most of us stream or download high-resolution files instead.
Hello. I can get that right now. Hold on while I put my ear thing. I'm typing as we speak. I need two hands to type.
Aimed at budding Picassos, BLO pens let children blow ink through an airbrush-style wand onto stencils. Advertisements promised vibrant murals with minimal mess, yet reality painted a different picture. Ink sputtered unpredictably, creating blotches instead of crisp designs, and fine mist clouds spread across tables and walls.
Now I'm going to obviously do the tyres black, but you can do it any colour you like, as I said before.
Parents found themselves scrubbing furniture while kids struggled to achieve even strokes. Concerns mounted over inhaled pigments, and the product's novelty fizzled amidst mounting cleanup grievances.
3, 4, 5, 6 stencils. Oops, they're all coming out now. So we are going to do some...
Retailers soon dropped BLO pens from shelves, leaving frustrated young artists to reach for safer markers. Next in line was a toy so incessantly vocal that it became both a parent's nightmare and a children's must-have.
The paint bleeding, but I think that's a really good job.
Yeah.
What do you think, Sol?
When Apple unveiled the G4 Cube in 2000, jaws dropped at its elegant minimalist design, a 7.7-inch transparent acrylic cube that floated on its base. Inside, a PowerPC G4 processor delivered desktop-class performance.
Combining the power of the Power Mac G4, the awesome power of this machine.
But that beauty came with a hefty price tag and some quirky limitations. No room for standard expansion cards and a reliance on external devices for upgrades. Sales never matched Apple's hopes, and production ended roughly a year later. Though it remains an icon of industrial design, the Cube's impracticalities made it more of a museum piece than a mainstream computer. Today, it's a collector's dream, proof that groundbreaking form sometimes outshines everyday function. When Furby debuted in 1998, its chirps, chatters, and eerily expressive eyes made it the season's hottest toy, selling over 40 million units in 3 years.
Like so?
But delight quickly turned to exhaustion as Furby refused to stay silent. Lacking an off switch, it awoke at random, serenading households in the dead of night. Parents discovered the only quieting method was battery removal, prompting frantic scavenges for screwdrivers. Though beloved by children, the constant babble and nocturnal awakenings earned Furbies a spot on many parents' worst toys lists. Hasbro wouldn't repeat the mistake when it revived Furby in 2023, this time, thankfully, with a proper power button. Yet, even that lesson couldn't save a clear craze that fizzled soon after its debut. MySpace was the digital playground of the mid-2000s, where everyone crafted profile pages adorned with glitter GIFs, auto-playing music, and custom HTML themes. Curating your top 8 friends became a social minefield. One slight misstep could cost your place in someone's inner circle. Profiles loaded slowly, thanks to over-the-top decorations and code clutter, but we didn't mind. We felt like online rock stars. Musicians discovered global audiences, while users vied to outdo each other with flashiest pages. Yet, as Facebook's cleaner interface and real name policies took hold, MySpace's chaos became its downfall. By the early 2010s, its user base had plummeted, and the site refocused on music alone.
Old enough to remember MySpace, then you know just how much music was uploaded to the social site over the years. But I gotta tell you, at least 12 years of that music is now lost for good.
Still, for many, those neon-soaked profiles represent a precious slice of internet history. Coors introduced Zima in 1993 as a clear malt beverage, stripping color and much of the beer's bite before adding lemon-lime flavor. Its see-through appearance tapped the 90s fascination with crystal-clear sodas, and initial consumer trial was off the charts. 7 in 10 Americans gave it a swig. Yet, the novelty wore thin as drinkers described it as beer's bland cousin with a citrus twist. Sales plummeted within a few years, and Zima was discontinued in the US by 2008. Despite its flop, many credit Zima for paving the way to today's booming hard seltzer market, proof that even a failure can leave a lasting legacy.
Zima. When this was all the rage in the 90s, I was not old enough to partake.
Imagine fitting a half gigabyte of data onto a disk no larger than a quarter. That was the promise of data play when it made a splash at CES in January 2001, grabbing the Best of Show award. Tiny and sleek, these discs held up to 500 MB, enough for photos, music, or crucial documents. iRiver teased a dedicated player design, fueling excitement.
With corporate pressure to move to tapeless workflows and reduce storage costs, Sony's OptiDisc archive solution lineup is an excellent choice to protect your content now and in the future.
Yet, despite demo units and press headlines, neither the device nor the discs reached retail. High production costs, complex licensing, and the rapid rise of flash media doomed the format. Consumers gravitated towards CDRs and USB drives offering proven reliability and bigger file sizes. By late 2001, data play quietly vanished, known today only in tech archives. Its fleeting triumph reminds us how prototypes don't always translate to shelf success. At first blush, Beanie Babies looked like harmless plush companions, tiny, collectible, and adorably stitched. But behind the cuddly facade lurked a masterclass in artificial scarcity.
And they all claim to know that theirs, whether it be PVC or PE, was the first.
Ty Warner, the brand's eccentric creator, would abruptly retire designs on a whim, turning humble hippos and bears into overnight legends.
And you see they use the small font here, and the tag you'll see is a slightly smaller, has a little bit of a different shape to it.
Collectors scrambled, prices soared on the secondary market, and unprepared speculators found themselves holding ocean-going whales no one wanted. By 1999, Warner pulled the plug on the entire line. No warning, no fanfare, leaving armies of wrappers and trading cards with plummeting worth. Tax evasion charges in 2013 briefly thrust him back into headlines, but the beanie bubble never quite rebounded. And yet, lurking in the toy chest is another 90s icon whose downfall is even more astonishing.
So I brought in some of the Beanie Babies that I thought were the most rare in my collection, and this company knew.
In 2002, the Segway rolled out with a promise to revolutionize city streets. Its two self-balancing wheels, gyroscopic sensors, and silent electric motor looked like the future of personal transport.
Segway says it'll stop producing its iconic PT scooter beginning in July. Factories will be halting production July the 15th, and more than 20 people at its New Hampshire plant will be let go.
Early demos featured business executives gliding through airports and cruise ships, backed by hefty price tags and celebrity endorsements. Jeff Bezos hailed it as one of the most anticipated product launches ever, but reality diverged from the dream. High cost, regulatory hurdles, and crowded sidewalks made Segways impractical for everyday commuters. They never became a mainstream commuting staple or urban game changer.
Might be devastated with this next story. Segway's got to be the thing of the past, you know? The company that makes them says production will stop.
Despite loyal fan communities and a pivot to industrial uses, the Segway remains a niche novelty rather than the mobility revolution it once promised to be. Once upon a time, the internet was a formal affair, and who better to guide you than a besuited gentleman named Jeeves? Launched in 1996, Ask Jeeves promised to answer your queries in plain English, sparing you the tyranny of keywords.
Hope that helps you understand Ask Jeeves. I'm Bridge Stewart, and this is Every Single Thing Explained.
Its digital butler mascot strode alongside users through early web labyrinths, even floating over Manhattan in Thanksgiving Day parade balloons. But as algorithms advanced, Jeeves's literal interpretations and clunky processing left it gasping.
Ask Jeeves, the question-answering search engine began trading today on the NASDAQ just a short while ago.
Google's sleek simplicity and superior relevancy rendered natural language searches passé. By the mid-2000s, Jeeves was jettisoned. The site rebranded Ask.com, and the valet vanished into internet lore. Proof that even polite manners can't save you from ruthless competition.
Improve their ability to interact with their customers on their websites. So we're paid by companies to develop a service.
In early 2003, Microsoft unveiled Smart Display, codename Mira, as a wireless monitor that transformed into a tablet tethered to your PC. Slender and glossy, it felt like a glimpse into tomorrow. scroll through documents from the couch, check email from the kitchen, or pilot PowerPoint from a meeting room.
We see a tablet that represents a unique vision for the seamless expression of entertainment and creativity.
But the era's slow 802.11b connections turned quick detours into laggy waiting rooms. Battery life lagged behind, performance hiccups sprang up under heavy use, and the collar clip docking station added more desk clutter than convenience. By December 2003, negligible sales convinced Microsoft to pull the plug. Its concept resurfaced years later in modern tablets and thin clients, but the original Mira remains a footnote, a reminder that timing and infrastructure can make or break innovation. In 1995, Kodak unleashed the DC-40, a groundbreaking digital camera promising instant snapshots without film. At a hefty $1,000 price tag, it sported 1.3 megapixels, a novelty at the time. Yet, the world wasn't ready.
I've taken it apart, cleaned up all of the residue that was left in the lens, and I think we're pretty much good to go.
Slow data transfer, grainy images, and tiny LCD previews disappointed photographers accustomed to the crisp reliability of 35mm.
Compact flash cards aren't that hard to get in, but I tried putting in a 32 megabyte compact flash card and that didn't work.
Kodak's roots in silver halide made digital feel like an afterthought. The firm underestimated online photo sharing's explosive growth, and enthusiasts balked at cumbersome proprietary formats. By 1999, rival manufacturers offered faster, higher-resolution models at lower prices. Though pioneering, the DC-40 sank under its own pioneering weight, foreshadowing Kodak's eventual 2012 bankruptcy and highlighting the perils of hesitating on disruptive innovation.
Okay, I've managed to work out how to use the playback feature, and as you can see, it does work.
Burning a mixed CD was an art form and a rite of passage in the 2000s. Blank discs stacked by the dozen, ready to capture the perfect sequence of hits, deep cuts, and hidden gems.
LightScribe used existing optical drive technology to burn monochrome images onto the label side of optical media, either CDs or DVDs.
Every crackle of the drive and flicker of the progress bar built anticipation. Crafting a playlist for your crush or best friend felt intimate and bespoke, a gift encoded in layers of plastic. Yet glitches lurked. Burn error messages after painstaking waits, wasted discs strewn in recycling bins, and unbalanced audio that rattled speakers. The rise of file-sharing networks and later streaming playlists rendered physical mixes obsolete. While nostalgia lingers, the tactile patience of burning, labeling, and packaging music has vanished, stored today in cloud folders and gathering dust on forgotten CD racks. Imagine donning a latex rubber mask that zapped your face with mild electric currents. Released in 1999, it claimed to tone muscles and smooth wrinkles by sending gentle pulses across your skin.
What is that?
In practice, users reported twitching, tingling, and outright discomfort. Dermatologists warned of uneven muscle contraction and potential burns, while cosmetologists balked at its unproven efficacy.
You got 2 more to go. Oh, God.
The accompanying therapy sessions resembled a sci-fi torture device more than a spa treatment. Despite glossy infomercials and celebrity endorsements, consumer enthusiasm fizzled. Few wanted to shock their way to beauty. Sales evaporated as safer, non-invasive alternatives emerged, consigning the Rejuvenique to late-night bargain bins and internet auctions where kitschy gadgets go to die.
I didn't sign up for electrical tooth massage. That's just not what I signed up for here.
Launched in 2003, HD radio aimed to upgrade the airwaves with crystal-clear broadcasts and bonus channels, all without subscription fees.
It's very small. It's going to allow you to finally tune into those HD radio stations in your home and get that crystal clear digital radio.
Listeners could tune into CD-quality audio on compatible receivers, as well as access traffic alerts, song metadata, and local subchannels. But adoption stalled as chip makers grappled with manufacturing costs and radio brands overlooked consumer education. Dashboards and home stereos rarely featured HD modules, while broadcasters hesitated to upgrade costly transmitters. Even in 2025, a handful of models, such as Sony's XDR F1 HD and budget insignia units, hint at renewed interest, yet many drivers remain blissfully unaware. As streaming services dominate, HD radio's promise of free digital clarity remains a faint whisper on crowded dials. At the turn of the millennium, QCat promised to revolutionize how we accessed websites. Simply scan a barcode printed in magazines or on products, and voila, you'd be whisked to a URL.
Create virtual shopping carts so you can take advantage of the online automatic delivery grocery.
The handheld, cat-shaped reader even glowed green when active. Cute, right? Unfortunately, the vision ignored real-world habits. Shoppers didn't carry barcode guns on coffee breaks, and publishers balked at embedding slugs that cluttered layouts. Installation woes, privacy concerns after user data leaks, and the rise of smartphones with built-in browsers sealed its fate.
However, by the year 2000, search engines were more effective, they were quicker, they were better.
Within 2 years, the company folded, and millions of glorified scanners found themselves obsolete curiosities. QCat reminds us that the flashiest gimmick can still miss the mark if it doesn't fit into daily life. In October 2001, Apple unveiled the iPod.
Today is National iPod Day. The original iPod was unveiled by Steve Jobs and Apple on this day back in 2001. Can you remember it, Gil?
A sleek white rectangle that promised hundreds of songs in your pocket.
Now, the most important of these devices are, of course, the digital camera, the digital camcorder, the DVD player, and portable digital music players.
Overnight, it reshaped how music was consumed, transforming tangled CD collections into a digital jukebox that could be carried everywhere. Its click wheel became a tactile icon, offering a satisfying spin with each song selection. Battery life felt like magic, running for days, whereas CD players would die within hours. Even without a touchscreen or internet browser, its simple interface made music discovery feel effortless. Crowds swelled at launch events, and suddenly everyone, students, commuters, runners, was on a mission to fill their iPod.
iPod has been a giant hit for us. We've got the 5 gigabyte iPod, 1,000 songs in your pocket. With iPod, we struck a middle path.
It was more than a gadget. It was a cultural stamp. Yet, for all its triumph, Apple's next challenge was already looming on the horizon. Next, a storied motorcycle maker tried to bottle its rugged ethos, only to produce a scent that left even die-hard fans scratching their heads.
I knew you'd love it. That crisp chicken fillet. It's right up your alley.
In 1995, Harley-Davidson ventured beyond the open road, releasing a perfume meant to capture its trademark leather and chrome essence. Packaged in sleek, metallic bottles, the fragrance boasted smoky tobacco and sandalwood notes, aiming to turn bikers and admirers into loyal wearers. Yet the scent fell flat. Fans grumbled it smelled more like an overspiced cologne than a rugged escape, while fragrance aficionados dismissed it as a gimmick. Retailers soon relegated it to clearance racks, where it languished until discontinuation. The disconnect between roaring engines and delicate spritzes proved too stark. But this wasn't the only 90s novelty that misfired. Next, an at-home beauty hack would promise miracles yet deliver nothing but colorful regret.
Seen it actually running. It's been a little old school. It's got a White Brothers lowering kit.
Before mobile app stores and console exclusives, Windows Minesweeper reigned as the default time killer.
Minesweeper. How to play. The object of the game is to uncover the map without clicking on any mines. Open a new game, then left-click randomly.
One wrong click detonated pixelated mines in cheerful explosions, turning logic puzzles into tiny victories and occasional frustrations. Rainy afternoons at school computer labs, living rooms, and cubicles became battlegrounds of deduction and blind guesses. The thrill of clearing a grid, chasing faster times, and mastering patterns transformed a simple utility into an unexpected obsession. Yet, despite free availability and timeless gameplay, Minesweeper never evolved beyond its basic interface. Graphics stayed static, levels remained uniform, and features stayed minimal. Today, it lives on through phone ports and browser clones, but in a gaming world of flashy visuals and microtransactions, its humble grid feels like a delightful throwback. McDonald's Arch Deluxe launched in 1996 amid the Golden Arches advertising blitz. Featuring a fancy potato crispy bun, peppered bacon mayo, and leaf lettuce, it aimed to lure affluent 18 to 34-year-olds, yet it confused core fans and health-conscious diners alike.
Okay, just one at a time. Yeah, no, Ronald, okay?
The campaign spent over $100 million on ads, but restaurant traffic barely budged. Customers balked at paying double for what felt like a middling upgrade, and kids stuck with Happy Meals.
Hey! Wait! Something's wrong!
By 2000, McDonald's quietly retired the Arch Deluxe, chalking it up to market overreach. In 2004, Motorola captured imaginations with the Razr V3, a flip phone so slender that it felt more like an accessory than a gadget. Its an anodized aluminum shell glinted in every color, from classic silver to daring hot pink, making it the must-have fashion statement of the era.
Brand new Motorola Razr V3, the super thin flip phone that's getting a lot of hype.
Underneath the stylish exterior lay a surprising feature set: a VGA front display for caller ID, a 720 mAh battery that outlasted many clunkier rivals, and Bluetooth connectivity for hands-free calls. Yet its ultra-thin design came at a cost. The keypad membrane was flimsy, leading to sticky keys and cracked screens. Cloning concerns and limited storage also tested patience. When Motorola revived the Razr name in 2020, as a foldable smartphone, critics lamented its hefty price and middling specs. Still, the original Razr remains a defining icon of the 2000s. In 1992, Coca-Cola quietly resurrected its infamous 1985 misstep as Coke 2, hoping to win back consumers still scarred by the original New Coke fiasco. Retaining that overly sweet formula, the beverage failed to deliver the crisp, familiar taste fans craved.
And I'm standing here with this ice-cold, thirst-quenching, deliciously satisfying Coca-Cola.
And critics weren't shy about pointing it out. Despite a low-key marketing push, supermarket shelves remained well-stocked as shoppers recoiled and reclaimed their classic Coke. Within months, Coke 2 was quietly phased out. Another reminder that nostalgia,
it was fantastic. It's a great new taste. I can't believe they could improve Coke.
And a time-tested recipe can be a company's greatest asset. But Coca-Cola wasn't the only household name to stumble. Next up, a fast food giant's attempt to go gourmet would leave both adults and kids wondering what went wrong.
Coca-Cola officials say it's a humbling experience, but they have to admit they underestimated.
Remember the nail-biting suspense of tapping the 7 key 4 times just to type an S? Though T9 was born in the late 90s, it truly ruled the texting world in the 2000s, helping us fly through those clunky 3x4 keypads, even if it turned half our messages into complete gibberish.
When you want to text someone, you could text whole paragraphs. Back in our day, we used a thing called T9 texting. A flip phone would only have 9 buttons. Each button would have 3 letters.
A quick message could turn into an accidental "duck you," or "we're meeting at 5," morphing into "we're meet in hive." Despite the constant battles with autocorrect light, we still managed to churn out texts at record speed, proving that nothing could stop our urge to stay connected. Thankfully, today's smartphones have full QWERTY screens and predictive text that actually makes sense, so we can send messages without performing a keypad dance. But
compatible all the way up to XP. So welcome to Microsoft Bob.
Even Bill Gates admitted it was a flop. Microsoft Bob became one of the most mocked pieces of software ever made. Okay, Technically, this one launched at the very end of the 80s, but it flopped hard in the early 90s.
Is Pepsi AM. This can came out in 1989.
Pepsi AM was a soda specifically made for breakfast. Yes, you read that right, a morning cola. It had more caffeine than regular Pepsi and was marketed as a coffee alternative for people who don't do mornings. Sounds odd? That's because it was.
Pepsi AM stat. Oh, and there's also diet, but we're not going to bring that back.
People weren't ready to swap their morning coffee for a sugary soda. It felt off-brand and out of place. The product was pulled almost as quickly as it launched. Still, it stands as one of Pepsi's weirdest experiments.
Unfortunately, there is no information on how much caffeine is in these, but it is a sealed can.
When standalone DVD recorders rolled into stores around 1999, they promised to be the next VCR, except sleeker and digital. Consumers imagined effortlessly burning home videos or favorite TV shows straight to shiny discs. In reality, menus were clunky, setups confusing, and burn times painfully long. Before these machines could catch on, cable and satellite DVRs and the rise of TiVo swooped in with faster, simpler recording options.
There are other DVRs today that can record unlimited programs. Make sure that the TV service provider that you choose has the best technology and the latest equipment.
Meanwhile, computer DVD burners gave tech enthusiasts more control and customization. By the mid-2000s, the living room DVD recorder had become an afterthought in America, relegated to bargain bins. Before Cortana or Clippy, there was Bob. Microsoft Bob was a friendly, cartoon-style software interface meant to make computers easier for beginners. Instead of folders and icons.
Okay, so the idea of Bob was to put a interface on top.
Users navigated a cartoon house with a dog named Rover who guided them around. It was supposed to be intuitive and helpful, but it turned out to be overly simplistic and pretty annoying. Most users found it clunky and condescending, and it required more processing power than many home computers had at the time. When Cable Card debuted in 2004, it promised a world without clunky cable boxes. Just slide a card into your TV or PC for instant access to premium channels. The concept thrilled early adopters who dreamed of sleek, all-in-one entertainment hubs.
Anything that I have in the house with a screen that includes TVs and computers and phones can get access to that cable subscription, and I don't have to pay Comcast a dime to do it.
However, the reality was more complex. Compatibility varied significantly across brands, and setup required intricate interactions with cable providers. Viewers faced limited DVR support, and monthly authorization resets left households without TV on busy nights. Industry stalling and minimal marketing doomed Cable Card before mainstream users caught on. Even a promised 2.0 upgrade failed to resolve core issues. While successor technologies like True Two-Way and All-Vid have taken their shots, Cable Card remains a footnote in cable history. At the turn of the millennium, customizing your phone with a unique ringtone became a badge of honor. Investing roughly $2.50 to download the latest hit, or setting up the radio to record a snippet, felt like a small price for style. Those distinctive chirps, pings, and catchy hooks announced one's arrival at crowded hallways, buzzing offices, and packed dorm rooms. But as smartphones exploded into daily life and notifications multiplied, silence reigned supreme. Who wants an orchestra of alerts during back-to-back meetings or family dinners? Meanwhile, streaming services unlocked every track at your fingertips, making paid snippets redundant. Today, default rings sit quietly in silent mode, and the novelty of a custom melody has faded. But that's just the beginning. Wait until you hear about the next gadget, which promised portable storage greatness before disappearing without a trace. Now, this one was straight out of a sci-fi movie. Orbits was a weird, futuristic-looking drink with tiny floating gelatin balls suspended inside the bottle.
You can see me?
Yes, I can see you. You're perfectly in frame.
Oh god, it smells like alcohol.
So,
The idea was to create a textured beverage experience that would amaze customers. It looked cool, like a lava lamp you could drink, but the novelty wore off fast. Most people said it had a strange taste and an even stranger mouthfeel. It was supposed to feel like drinking a drink and chewing gum at the same time, but that just didn't sit well with consumers. The gelatin balls freaked people out, and the lack of any clear flavor direction didn't help.
Alright, I'm just going to show you the ones that I've bought so far. The one on the right is called Raspberry Citrus.
Orbits never took off and was discontinued quickly. It's remembered today more as a curiosity than a beverage breakthrough. Here's one that really missed the mark. In an effort to create a healthier cigarette, tobacco giant R.J. Reynolds launched Premier, a smokeless cigarette that used a heated element to release nicotine rather than burning tobacco.
And because they know what a pleasure it is to smoke a mild, good-tasting cigarette.
Sounds kind of like a vape, right? But this was the early 90s, and the technology just wasn't there. The cigarette had a horrible taste and a strange smell that users described as burning plastic.
That is an opportunity the dwindling number of American smokers might want to take.
Smokers hated it, and non-smokers weren't impressed either. It was such a disaster that it cost the company over $1 billion in development and marketing, and was pulled from the shelves within a year.
That's pretty brutal. Okay.
Yes, you read that right. Coors, the beer company, decided to make non-alcoholic sparkling water in the early 90s. The idea was to diversify their product line and hop on the health-conscious train. But there was one big issue. People associated Coors with beer, not water.
Probably longer than physically.
Coach, hey, yeah, I got a question.
And putting the Coors logo on a bottle of sparkling water just confused everyone. Consumers didn't trust it, didn't want it, and didn't buy it. It flopped so hard that it was pulled from the shelves quickly.
Is it true that not drinking water while consuming beer can adversely affect your functioning?
The lesson: brand identity matters a lot. Just because you can make sparkling water doesn't mean you should.
Coach, do you drink refreshing Rocky Mountain spring water?
In 1999, Sony introduced Aibo, a pint-sized robotic puppy with a wagging tail, expressive eyes, and a playful AI personality. It could recognize faces, learn new tricks, and respond to touch. An adorable companion for tech fans.
You'll see this kind of pet robot is staying at the home. Not only one, but the 2, 3, 4, 5 robots will be moving in each home.
But at roughly $2,500, Aibo was a luxury toy few could afford, and its battery life and unpredictability sometimes left owners frustrated. As the market shifted and development costs soared, Sony discontinued the original Aibo line in 2006. Collectors mourned the loss, while a few dedicated fans hacked their Aibos to extend their lifespans. Today, Sony has revived Aibo with a pricier model, but the charm of that first robotic dog, fuzzy memories programmed into hardware, remains a testament to an idea that was ahead of its time. This one's a classic failure that still haunts Nintendo fans. The Virtual Boy was Nintendo's attempt at virtual reality before VR was even a thing. You looked into a red-tinted headset and played games in a strange 3D format.
Virtual Boy, see it now in 3D.
But the graphics were clunky. The red and black color scheme gave people headaches, and the system was uncomfortable to use. It was also insanely expensive for its time and only had a handful of games. Nintendo discontinued it after just 6 months. It's often ranked as one of the biggest flops in gaming history. But hey, at least they were thinking ahead. In October 2000, 3Com debuted the Ergo Audrey, an internet appliance named after Audrey Hepburn, featuring a touchscreen display, an email client, audio/video playback, and Palm OS syncing.
The key component of datatricity for the nerve center of the modern home is here. It's Audrey from 3Com, the first member of the Ergo family.
It promised to be the first in a line of smart home devices, a gateway to effortless online living. Instead, it stumbled over high price tags, limited functionality, and the dot-com crash. By June 2001, the Audrey was discontinued, leaving behind a handful of curious units gathering dust. While the idea of a dedicated internet terminal in every home made sense on paper, the technology and market were not yet ready. Still, Audrey laid the groundwork for future devices like tablets and smart displays that would finally nail the concept. In 2003, Tapwave unveiled the Zodiac, a handheld meant to blend gaming and PDA functionality. Running on a tweaked Palm OS, it boasted vibrant graphics, multimedia playback, and a niche library of exclusive titles.
When I want to listen to my music, manage my life, and to game. To game! I'm talking 3D graphics, full motion video, analog controller.
Reviewers praised its sleek design and raw power, but the ecosystem behind it was brittle. Major game studios balked at support, leaving the store stocked with only a handful of games. Meanwhile, Sony's PlayStation Portable boasted a stronger brand, deeper pockets, and a marketing blitz that overshadowed Zodiac's niche appeal. Financial strains forced Tapwave to shutter operations in 2005, cutting off firmware updates and distribution. Today, the Zodiac survives as a collector's oddity, an ambitious device felled by competition and lack of developer backing.
The consumer electronics business needs a hot product.
These shoes were everywhere for a hot minute. Reebok promised that by pumping air into the tongue of your sneaker, you'd get better performance, a tighter fit, more bounce, more game.
When I'm pumped up, I get support, protection, and a custom fit that's unbeatable.
NBA players were seen rocking them, and kids begged their parents for a pair. But here's the catch. They didn't really work that well. The pump was mostly a gimmick.
Almost anything, but no one can imitate the pump.
Once the novelty wore off, people realized they were paying a lot more money for very little actual benefit. Plus, the pump mechanism often broke. While it wasn't a complete flop in terms of sales, it definitely didn't live up to the hype or last as a performance innovation.
The original, the pump, from Reebok.
When Nokia merged phone and gaming ambitions in 2003, the N-Gage seemed poised to rewrite both rulebooks. Instead, its sideways calling method earned it the nickname Taco Phone, and gamers grumbled over awkward button layouts that made epic quests feel less immersive.
The N-Gage is the hottest new item on the market for gamers. It's a gaming deck, a cell phone, MP3 player, AM/FM stereo.
Swapping game cartridges meant removing the back cover and battery, a fiddly ritual that killed the thrill before the first boss fight. Battery life tanked under heavy play, and reception issues turned multiplayer duels into ghost towns. Still, the N-Gage boasted a spirited library that included exclusive titles and early online play.
N-Gage is a totally new way to game. It takes gaming to an entirely new level. It's wireless, multiplayer, online, unlike anything we've ever seen before.
Retailers couldn't stock units fast enough, but consumers stayed away. Despite a redesign in 2004, Nokia was unable to shake the stigma. And while fans cherished a few hidden gems, the gadget's journey was far from over.
You can put your Crystal Pepsi display in place of the Pepsi display.
Long before the iPhone, Apple tried to change the world with a clunky little gadget called the Newton. This personal digital assistant, PDA, was meant to replace your calendar, notepad, and maybe even your computer.
We're going to change our lives as much as the fax machine or the cellular telephone have in the last 10 years.
It could take notes, store contacts, and even recognize your handwriting. At least, that was the promise. In reality, its handwriting recognition was hilariously inaccurate. It was bulky, expensive, nearly $700 at the time, and just not ready for prime time.
So within weeks of launching Newton, Apple put together the first Newton Developers Conference.
Even The Simpsons mocked it. Apple pulled the plug on it by 1998, but funnily enough, it laid the groundwork for what would later become the iPhone and iPad. So, not a total loss, just an awkward early step. Long before slates became household staples, Microsoft and partners launched the tablet PC in 2001. These clamshell laptops featured stylus-driven touchscreens and allowed users to chart handwritten notes in real time. In classrooms and boardrooms, enthusiasts appreciated the novelty.
Classes to go to, exams to cram for, all that stuff to carry around. So simplified with a tablet PC.
Yet the devices were heavy, had short battery life, and ran Windows XP Tablet Edition with some difficulty. Mainstream users found typing on physical keyboards and navigating with a mouse to be far more efficient. Consequently, tablet PCs remained a niche for years. It wasn't until Apple's 2010 iPad, lightweight, intuitive, and app-driven, that the tablet form factor truly took off. In retrospect, the original tablet PC was a crucial stepping stone, showing both the promise and pitfalls of pen-centric computing. Let's kick things off with one of the most famously weird ideas of the decade: Crystal Pepsi. Pepsi decided that what people really wanted was a clear soda that looked like water but tasted like cola.
I'm really concerned that selling this new Crystal Pepsi could hurt the sales of my other soft drink brands, like brand Pepsi.
It was supposed to feel clean, modern, and health-conscious. The commercials were intense. Van Halen's Right Now blasting while slow-mo shots of people doing epic stuff played across the screen. Pepsi marketed it like it was the drink of the future. But here's the problem. It confused people. It didn't taste exactly like regular Pepsi, and the see-through look made some folks think it was flavorless.
I'll put Crystal Pepsi into the section, but I have no more display space for another soft drink.
Plus, people weren't really asking for a clear soda in the first place. It quietly disappeared within 2 years. Interestingly, it made a short-lived comeback in 2016 for nostalgia's sake, but even then, it didn't last. Sony's Micro MV launched in 2001, promising the world's smallest video cassette for camcorders.
Mini DV was extremely popular, but Sony were thinking about making something even smaller. So they came up with Micro MV, they shrunk the tape size.
Roughly half the size of mini DV tapes, Micro MV packed only 60 minutes of MPEG-2 video. Its tiny footprint allowed designers to shrink camcorders to unheard-of proportions, until users saw the footage. Grainy images, frequent glitches, and compression artifacts plagued recordings. Additionally, Micro MV equipment carried premium price tags, making affordable mini DV and emerging hard drive recorders appear to be better bets. As flash-based and HDD camcorders rolled out mid-decade, offering superior quality, longer recording times, and easier file transfers, Micro MV quickly joined the obsolete ranks. Sony released the last Micro MV camcorder in 2006, then quietly retired the format. Today, tracking down working Micro MV decks is a niche hobby, proof that smaller isn't always better when image quality suffers. Sony wanted to replace cassette tapes and CDs with something smaller, sleeker, and more modern: the mini disc. The tech was solid.
It's basically a Sony format that died out.
You could record and re-record without losing quality. But there were two big problems. First, the mini discs themselves were expensive. And second, CDs were already becoming cheaper and more popular. At the 2003 CES, Microsoft unveiled Spot smartwatches, promising news, weather, and stock updates delivered directly to your wrist via FM radio signals. These chunky timepieces boasted customizable watch faces and MSN direct services, with partners like Fossil and Suunto driving sleek prototypes. Imagine checking headlines without pulling out a phone, an idea ahead of its time.
And that is by pointing it at a CRT monitor on your PC running Windows 3.1, and it synchronizes just by looking at your display.
Yet, reception was patchy, draining batteries faster than users expected. Monthly subscription fees for MSN Direct added up, and developers struggled with limited memory and coarse monochrome screens. Even bundling a basic version free failed to win over consumers glued to emerging smartphones. By 2008, Microsoft quietly discontinued Spot, leaving a handful of dedicated fans tinkering with hardware hacks. Before you tally its legacy, brace for a daring effort that attempted to eliminate the cable box.
Headphone outlet. So, if we look at the...
Most people just didn't see the need to switch. MP3 players also began rising in popularity by the late 90s, making mini discs feel outdated almost immediately. Sony did its best to push the format, especially in Japan, but it never caught on globally. It was quietly shelved, and now it lives on mostly in retro tech fan circles. Before streaming took over, Netflix DVDs rewrote movie rentals with its mail-order service. Red envelopes tumbled into mailboxes like Christmas morning. No late fees, no store runs, just home delivery. Subscribers curated queues of blockbusters, indies, and cult classics, praying their top picks didn't carry a very long wait. For a generation, the system felt miraculous. Physical disc access to virtually any film without setting foot outside. But as high-speed streaming rose in popularity, disc rentals transformed into a niche perk.
How does streaming compare with the good old-fashioned DVD?
Streaming is convenient, but there's a huge trade-off in quality. With a basic Netflix subscription, movies you watch are not in high definition.
Although Netflix still ships DVDs, its once expansive catalog has dwindled, confined to select titles and loyal subscribers. The romance of holding a flick, browsing inserts, and tearing open that red envelope has given way to instant clicks, proof that even groundbreaking services evolve or fade.